Network Entertainment.
And welcome to my podcast, the RJ Ledesma Podcast. In my podcast, I like to interview big business leaders and pioneering entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business, what are their success secrets, and can we replicate them in our own businesses? And more importantly, what business opportunities do they see emerging in the near future? And my next guest is a truly pioneering entrepreneur. He recently won the same award which I got several years ago from the Agora Awards. The Agora Awards is the Academy Awards of the Philippine Marketing Association for marketing. And he recently won his for the Agora Award for Excellence in Small Scale Entrepreneurship for his business called Tent King. He's actually a CEO and founder of several businesses. And he still thinks of himself as a small business owner, mind you, no? That's Tent King and Food Chow and For Rent. Those are for chairs. He'll tell us a bit more about it later on. And of course, Right Tire. Please welcome my very good friend and fellow entrepreneur, Joey Espiritu. Joey, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, RJ. Thank you for having me.
Wow, it's really a pleasure to be with so many like-minded entrepreneurs because you inspire me by your example as well. And I mentioned so many different concepts that you're doing here right now. Tell us a bit more about each one, and as you tell us each one, maybe you can share with us like the pain point that you saw and why you came up with it.
Yeah.
The pain point that you saw and how you came up with it.
Yeah.
The first one over here that became very popular is Tent King. Tell us a bit more about Tent King.
RJ, allow me to share first how we started.
Yes, please.
We started 19 years ago with just 3,000 capital. We
Wow.
were just doing balloons. We were doing balloon decoration services to different companies. And then all of a sudden, there's this one big company na sabi niya, Joey, we need tents. So from that point, I saw that it's a pain point. This is a catering business na ito. So sabi ko, sige, next month may catering na kami. Meron na kaming tent, so may tent products na rin kami. So right now, my main objective this time is how can I help this caterer na ma-solve yung pain point na yon. So sabi ko, start ako, bili agad ako ng isang tent. Then from one tent, naging dalawa, naging tatlo, naging apat, naging lima. Before we were just in Tagaytay. But right now, we're in Calabarzon, Metro Manila, Central Luzon, North Luzon, and Bicol region. And RJ, for the record, we're not just into rentals. We are now selling tents in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Wow.
So after while running Tent King, I saw itong mga caterers na to nagsiset up ng tent sa ilalim, nagsiset up ng gamit nila sa ilalim ng tent ko. So sabi ko, mukhang interesting to. That's the time that we started managing the catering business.
Wow.
So unti-unti, nagra-run na yung aming catering. Before, we can just cater 50 packs. Right now, we can cater up to 1,500 packs. Kahit 7 events, isang araw, kaya na namin. While running Manang A, nakita namin meron ding mga requirement din sa weddings, lalo na sa upuan, lalo sa ceremony area, they need chairs. So I decided to start another company, and this is For Rent. I started this with just 300 chairs. Right now, we have more than 3,500 chairs.
Wow.
So for Tent King, Manang A, and for my chair business, last December, we experienced around 53 events in one day.
Wow, fantastic.
For the whole month of December, we experienced around 550 events. So, this is now the start nung naapunta ako sa events industry. However, nung panahon ng pandemic, sabi ko, I need to look for another business kasi meron akong restaurant business during that time. The name is Food Chow. Sabi ko nga, hindi ako papayag na mawalan ng negosyo, mawalan ng trabaho yung mga empleyado ko. So, I saw an opportunity. During that time, maraming mga nagbe-bake. And one of the main ingredients is yung M.Y. San Graham. Hinanap ko yung supplier and it is Mond Nissin. Luckily, yung isa sa mga estudyante ko is working in Mond Nissin. So I called him. I go, Jeremy, pwede ba ako maging distributor ng products niyo? Sabi niya, Sir Joey, pasensya na. Medyo puno pa kami nung time na yon kasi may mga nakaset up na silang mga distributor. Lo and behold, after 1 week, tumawag siya. Sir, sakto, nabakante ang Cavite. So I applied. I presented my company. RJ, wala akong background sa FMCG. Lakas lang talaga ng loob kasi I'm really focused na magkaroon ng trabaho ang mga tao. Then, all of a sudden, I got the exclusive distribution sa buong South Luzon.
For Mond Nissin?
For Mond Nissin.
Wow.
At the peak of the pandemic. Fast forward, RJ, after 4 years, we are now the exclusive distributor of NutriAsia, Mond Nissin, and Oleo Fats sa South Luzon.
Wow, fantastic! What a great growth story. And they're all opportunity meets it came at the correct time for you,
Correct.
diba? And then you just buti lang you had the experience and you had the resilience to take it on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kasi nung time na yon, my main focus is just my employees. I will find a way na magkatrabaho sila. I can still remember, sabi ko, this pandemic will end, pero yung ginawa mo sa tao mo, they will never forget.
I see. Wow, and that speaks a lot about your values when it comes to business, and we'll talk about a bit more about that later on, because you also have one more newer business that you put up as well. You have one pa ProTent, and you also have Right Tire. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What were the pain points that you saw there? Then how you came up with the product?
First, sa ProTent. Usually kasi ang market ni Ten King, puro mga high-end, mga malalaking companies. Pero marami pa rin nag-i-inquire dito sa low-end market na they wanted a small tent lang, basic lang. And the other thing is, marami din naghahanap na something that they'll be needing to cover. For example, kailangan nila ng lona, kailangan nila ng camping tents, kailangan nila ng linoleum. So, I've come up with this concept na magbenta nila. But this time, RJ, meron kaming physical store. Meron kaming pwesto sa bayan ng Silang. So, we're now selling ng mga lona doon, linoleum, camping tents. And then, nag-o-offer na rin kami ng mga rentals ng tents, tables, chairs, mga monoblock, mga basic na mga round tables, long tables, para lang doon sa masa. Wow. The other one for my other company this time is yung Right Tire. We are the first mobile tire replacement company in the Philippines. What's this company? If you want to change your tires, tawag ka sa akin. Kami yung pupunta sa bahay mo o sa office mo. Kami magtatanggal ng tires, kami yung magkakabit. May wheel alignment, may wheel balancing. So, ibig sabihin, ang ginawa namin dito, we are offering convenience sa part ng customers namin.
This is just for industrial, or this is even for retail, even for regular?
Regular customers, RJ, and even for some companies, meron tayong mga kaibigan sa industry. Like for example, may mga lights and sounds, may truck yan. Kami pupunta, kami magtatanggal ng tires nila. Meron ding mga individual, may mga SUV, may kotse. Kami mismo yung pupunta sa kanila para magpalit ng mga gulong nila. Kasi ang objective ko rito, we're all busy eh. Sometimes you don't have time para magpalit ng gulong natin. So this time, meron na rin din kaming ganitong klaseng negosyo. Other than that, we are not just into tire replacement. Meron na rin kaming trucking business.
Wow.
And at the same time, pati na rin meron na rin kaming distribution. Hopefully, magbebenta na rin kami ng oil, ng mga oil filter, ng mga wiper. So anything na kailangan niyo. Maybe you're wondering, Joey, parang lumayo ka ba dun sa strength mo? Di ba nasa events ka? Ba't pinasok mo yung tires? Actually, hindi ako lumayo. RJ eh. Bakit? Ilan ang caterer na may trucks? Ilan ang mga lights and sounds na may trucks? Ilan yung mga kaibigan natin sa industry na may van, may L300. So they have vehicles, they have trucks. Hindi ako lumayo doon. I try to understand their pain point again. So bakit pa sila lalayo? Nandito ako ngayon to help them on their problems pagdating sa mga vehicles nila.
Got that. And that's why I want to talk about right now, really, the development of your own entrepreneurial mindset, because that's what I try to teach people. I mean, I feel an affinity towards you because we're the same, diba? We're always looking for opportunities to create business, to create opportunities. And it comes from a strong, a higher place. Like, it's not just because you want to make business, you're trying to provide for employment for your employees, diba? But sa'yo, what do you find, because you've got so many businesses, I can see that in your mind, and it happens only for many entrepreneurs, that there's a common denominator, even if people don't see it. That when you're putting up businesses, you have a certain philosophy or a certain methodology that you have when you say, it all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So what is that sort of entrepreneurial philosophy that you have, or common denominator that you have when you're choosing what businesses to get into?
I have this favorite phrase. In every crisis, there are opportunities. One more. In every crisis, there are opportunities. In our industry, in the events industry, napakadaming challenges yan. Napakadaming mga problems yan. So the first thing that I always ask, anong kailangan nyo? Anong problems niyo? I'll give you a good example. For my foreign business, one of the problems ng mga caterers ay every time na may catering sila, typical yan, 2-3 trucks yan. Kapag sobrang dami ng number of packs, 2 truck chairs pa lang yun. And then the other truck, nandun yung plato, baso, kutsara. The other problem is, kapag meron kang lumalaki ang negosyo mo, kapag bumili ka ng maraming shares, you need a bigger warehouse. You need to have more trucks. You need to maintain your shares. I saw it as an opportunity. So yung problem mo, I want to solve it. So what I did, I pitched the idea to a lot of caterers. Why are you going to buy more chairs? Foreign is here. Tawag ka sa akin. Here are the choices. And then kapag may kailangan kang chairs, kami magdi-deliver. Trucks namin. Kami pa ang magbababa para may comfort doon sa part ng mga waiters ninyo. Di mo na kailangan ng mas malaking warehouse. Di mo na kailangan bumili ng trucks. Di mo na kailangan i-maintain. Let us do it. The objective here is to offer convenience sa part ng mga caterers. So again, going back to sa sinabi ko, in every crisis, there are opportunities. Itong mga problems nila, ako ang magsosolve nila. And unti-unti, I'm trying to identify the other problems, yung market segment natin ang nakakaranas. And then ako yung magsosolve nun.
I got that. And also, the other thing that comes up after you come up with the issue of I'll solve their problem is that where do you find the resources and the skills to put it up? Kunyari, nung first business mo, balloons, mukhang kaya pa yung capital niyan kasi 3,000 pesos lang yan. Pero yung next one, tent na.
Yeah.
Diba? Kailangan mong bumili ng tent or kailangan mag-ayos ng tent. Saan nagagaling yung puhunan mo para magsimula ng ibang negosyo?
The first few years, RJ, sariling tubo. Ito nga yung tinatawag na natin delayed gratification. So, ilang taon na yon hindi kami kumukuha ng kahit na anong tubo sa kumpanya. Every time na may kinita, buy another tent, buy another tent, buy another resource, buy another na mga gamit para namin sa aming negosyo. Pero nung certain level na lumalaki yung negosyo, hindi na kaya nung kapital namin. This time, lumapit tayo sa mga bangko. Maraming mga bangko ang natuwa sa atin because of the growth of the business. This time, tinusuportahan nila kami in terms of capital. Bibili kami ng mga bagong gamit. O kaya, for my inventory, for Food Chow, nakasupport sa akin yung mga bangko. Bibili ako ng mga stocks ko, sila ngayon na magpapautang sa akin. Ngayon, all of a sudden, may utang ako sa bangko, yung stocks, RJ, ibebenta ko. Pag naibenta ko siya, babayaran ko ang bangko. So all of a sudden, I'm running my company using the money of other people.
Got it. And that's a fantastic story because many people natatakot na humiram sa bangko ng pera because, they might not manage it well. But you found a way to make sure that you've used other people's money well, especially debt, to really grow the business better. Having said that, what are your few tips also for entrepreneurs when it comes to borrowing from the bank, from approaching them and to using it in a very prudent way?
Okay. First things first, RJ, you need to maintain your integrity. Kahit anong mangyari, RJ, hindi ka pwedeng masira doon sa pangako mo sa mga bangko. Pag humiram ka, you need to make sure na you are going to pay them doon sa kung ano yung pinangako mo. Second thing, once na naandoon na yung pera, you need to make sure that you are going to use it ng maayos. You buy goods, and then, o kaya itong mga binili mo, you need to make sure na maibebenta mo siya o makakapag-produce siya ngayon ng panibagong benta. At yung pera nakikitain mo doon, definitely you're going to pay the banks. All of a sudden, alam mo ba, RJ, before, papautangin lang ako 1 million, 2 million, hanggang sa lumaki yung binibigyan nila sa aking credit line. All of a sudden, I now have more capital this time to use to expand the business. I'm just so happy to share this. A few months ago, pinautang ulit ako ng bangko, bumili ako ng bagong lamesa, bumili ako ng bagong upuan, ng aircon, ng iwata. So, I started buying ng mga produkto na pwede ko ulit iparenta o kaya pwede ko ulit ibenta. So, parang nangyari nito, ginamit ko yung pera ng bangko para to produce more sales. At yung pera na yun din ang ibinabayad ko ulit sa kanila.
Got that. And that's something that people should pay attention to actually when you become an entrepreneur. Always, you're borrowing for the purpose of producing more income for the business.
Exactly, RJ. Kasi the problem minsan, kapag nangutang ka, kung ang gagawin mo, bibili ka ng kotse, bili ka ng mga kung ano lang yung papabor sa'yo, then definitely it cannot produce another money. So what you need to do, once nangutang ka, create an opportunity at yung opportunity na yon magpuproduce ng pera to open up more opportunities for you.
Hi, I'm Red Oliero.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bernardo.
And we are the Bago Matulog with Red Oliero podcast
members.
Yes, we are promoting our podcast and sana makinig kayo sa podcast namin. Yun lang. Please. Thank you. Yay. Please, we need money.
I have a question. What what drives you to keep on putting up new businesses? I understand as an entrepreneur that you want, this is malikot yung utak ng entrepreneur, di ba? Last, you were just overhearing David Season, the same guy who came here earlier. He was telling parang, kasi there's so many ideas. But what drives you to keep on putting up new businesses?
Employees. It's always my employees. The main reason why I wanted to expand, why I wanted to come up with something new. So hopefully, lumaki na lumaki yung aming benta. And then yung benta na yon will open a lot of opportunities for my employees. You know what, RJ? The dalawa anak ko, our life is very simple. And I saw na itong lahat ng business na nakikita mo ngayon, ay hindi naman sa atin yan eh. We are just stewards of this. So, the day nung tumama ang pandemic, you know what? Walang tent na nagre-rent. Walang chairs na nagre-rent. Walang catering during that time. Bawal ang restaurant. So lahat ng negosyo ko tinamaan. All of a sudden, 3 a.m., I'm crying and raising my hand na I wanted to surrender myself to my Lord. Na ikaw nang bahala rito. And lo and behold, sa tent, nagbenta kami ng mga isolation tents, quarantine tents. Our sales doubled during the pandemic. For my catering business, nag-food delivery kami kasi bawal tayong lumabas during that time. So, mga food packs ang binenta namin. Nag-survive yung catering. Third, for the chair business, si Foreign, dahil wala naman nagre-rent ang chairs, nagbenta naman, dahil uso yung work from home, we started selling ng mga office chairs. And nag-survive ulit si Foreign. Then during that time, even si Foreign, nagbebenta rin kami ng mga hand washing station. And then for Food Chow, dati siyang restaurant na naging distribution company. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this kasi alam ko na si Lord di kami pinabayaan ng pandemic. And I committed myself na if I'll be able to survive this, I'll make sure that I'll be helping more people hanggat kaya ko pang makatulong sa ibang tao. And I want to maximize this opportunity, RJ, na kung mapapalaki ko pa na mapapalaki itong negosyo to, if I'll come up with other businesses and it will open a lot of jobs sa ating mga kababayan, then definitely I'll be able to glorify my God. Remember, two very important na utos ni Lord, na mahalin mo ang Panginoon at mahalin mo yung kapwa mo. And I just wanted to do that direction na sinasabi sa akin ng Panginoon.
Fantastic. And what I also realized from my own journey is that the discernment is sometimes the Lord gives you the innovative spirit to say, okay, anong gagawin ko ngayon, Lord? Di ba? When you're on your knees and you're crying, all of a sudden, dyan lumalabas yung puputok yung parang, oh, this idea never, I mean, you put together, the thing about entrepreneurs is that you put together ideas which didn't exist before, di ba?
Exactly.
And then when you trust the Lord to give that to you, sometimes dyan lumalabas yung ideas. Do you agree with me?
Totally, RJ. Ito yung nga sinasabi dito na, you just need to trust me. Alam mo, sabi nga nila, before pandemic, I'm raising my hand, glorifying Him. Kasi nasa peak ako ng success eh. Sabi ko, Lord, I love you. You are my God. You are my soul. I surrender myself to you. Nasa peak ako ng aking career. Then all of a sudden, nung nasa baba na ako, nandun na ako na parang wala ng hope. I heard a very loud message. Do you still love me? Kasi faith is not based on emotion. Faith is based on your decision. So that's the time that I surrendered everything. So sabi ko, I will definitely serve you through the companies that I have right now. Hindi naman lahat ng bagay na ang pagsisilbi sa Panginoon ay naandun lang sa simbahan. You can bring Christ to your workplace. So what I'm doing right now, not through the words, but through action. Na para ma-inspire ang aking mga empleyado na we should continuously help the company na mas lalo pang lumaki para mas marami pa tayo matulungan. RJ, share ko lang to sa'yo.
Sure, please.
May mga empleyado kami, ito yung mga tambay sa kanto. Ito yung mga empleyado na parang patapon na ng mga magulang. But we were able to help them. And right now, sila na ngayon ang mga breadwinner sa family nila.
Wow.
Meron ako empleyado na dating waiter operations manager na ngayon. Meron ako dating naglilinis ng lona, warehouse supervisor na ngayon. Meron ako dating driver na ngayon ay operations and logistics supervisor na ngayon. We are changing lives. And that is something that really drives me crazy. And I want more. I'll be able to help more people through this company. Kasi naniniwala ako, hindi naman lahat ng tao tinawag na maging negosyante. Why not make the most out of this? Kung nagagawa ng isang maliit na kumpanya, definitely, lalo na yung malalaking kumpanya, can you imagine if we will be empowered na magkaroon palalo ng malaki pang opportunity, mas marami pang buhay ang kaya nating palitan.
Where does the strong drive for you come from with regard to the faith-driven philosophy towards doing business? Were you is it something that came to you along the way? Was it something that you grew up with?
Yeah. First, sa parents ko, they are very religious. I got it from them. And then along the way, I became a member of Singles for Christ. Doon ko rin nakilala yung aking wife. When we were serving this community, nadadala kami sa iba't ibang area, sa Tagaytay, sa Amadeo, sa PNPA, just preaching the name of the Lord. Then, after nung kami kinasal na, naging part din kami ng Couples for Christ, and then, nag-serve din kami, uma-attend kami ng The Feast kay Brother Bo. And from then on, na-realize ko na lahat ng meron kami ay hindi amin. We are just stewards of this. So the best part nitong ating nararamdaman ngayon, ano bang assurance natin dalawa, RJ, na bukas buhay tayo? We don't have any assurance. But if I can make the most out of this life, I'll be doing it.
How about your own experience towards becoming an entrepreneur? Was it something that you grew up with or something that came to you along the way? Because people always ask, naging entrepreneur kasi ako dahil na-expose ako sa magulang ko, ganyan sila. But was that your experience or was it something that you learned along the way?
Sa lahat ng aming magkakapatid, sa family, walang negosyante doon. Nung umpisa, ako lang ang negosyante. Allow me to share this. For 14 years, empleyado ako, RJ. Naging medrep, nagbebenta ng mga pakain sa baboy, sa manok. Then, kung ano-anong trabaho na nasa sales ako. Hanggang sa dumating na nagturo naman ako sa Lyceum and Lasal. Then, while working in different companies, sabi ko, I need to find another source of income. So, yung 8 to 5 RJ, I'm working in a company. Then yung 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, doon naman ako naghahanap ng magpapagkakitaan. Doon namin tinayo yung aming balloons business, yung Lobo Disenyo. So, yung wife ko, siya yung full-time doon sa business na balloons. 7 years yon, RJ ha. 7 years namin niran yon. Totally, puro balloons lang kami. Umaga hanggang hapon, nagtatrabaho ako. Pagdating ng hapon hanggang gabi, ako ay nagbobomba ng lobo. Pagdating mo sa bahay namin, puro balloons yon. Kasi nga, ang objective ko rito, I need to find a way ng additional income. And then, alam mo, habang nakakapag-connect kami na nakakapag-connect sa industry partners natin, doon na dumating na, Ma'am, ano pa ba kailangan mo? Kailangan ko ng tent, and the rest is history.
I see. So it's really an opportunity-seeking and problem-solving mindset that you really need as an entrepreneur. And that's something that you have to learn along the way, I guess, no?
Yeah.
Were there times also that, I'm sure there came many times that you also wanted to give up because that you come through with trials? Was there one time you said, ayoko na, babalik na corporate, magka-corporate ako ulit? What was a trial that you learned, that you had the biggest, but you also learned from the most?
Napakadami, RJ. But allow me to share this. First, naalala mo nung pumutok yung Taal?
Oo.
Daming cancellation doon, RJ. Maraming mga naging problem doon. Maraming mga refund na nangyari ron. Di pa kami nakaka-take off doon sa Taal eruption. Tumama naman si pandemic.
Oo, alala ko yan.
I think that's the lowest point of my life. That's the time na may choice ako, RJ, na I just close the companies. May pera naman kami . I think di naman kami magugutom ng pamilya ko. Pero dito natetest yung leadership . Dito natetest din yung character. At dito rin natetest yung faith. So that's the time na sinabi ko na I will not look at this na isa siyang malaking problema. So katulad ng sinabi kong phrase kanina, that in every crisis there are opportunities. I was not looking at the problem. I'm looking at the solution. So one day at a time, nung nasosolve ko na nasosolve yung problema ng bawat kumpanya, yun na yung time na doon ko na-realize na hindi ka dapat basta nag-give up . Kasi minsan ang una mong kalaban, sarili mo rin. Once you're able to overcome that fear and that loneliness, all of a sudden makikita mo rin na andun din yung strength . All you need to do is just to listen and start observing na marami dyan pang opportunity. Ang kailangan mo lang dyan, umaksyon ka.
That's right. And finally, I wanted to move on also because it's so inspiring. All these different businesses that you're putting up. It's sort of like an ecosystem of businesses that all make sense. Like for me, I run different businesses, but for me, they all make sense in my head because I see that they're all connected. Like for you, either the connection is that it's all about the event ecosystem, but you always keep on finding a problem in the event ecosystem that you can continue to solve. My question is, how do you start building a skill set towards solving? Kasi alam ko si Jomag, si Potato Corner, is one of my partners. Sabi niya, you say yes to opportunity, then you find out how to solve it. How do you do that one?
Very nice question. Alam mo, RJ, caterer ako na hindi ako marunong magluto. Tent supplier ako na hindi ko alam kung paano gumawa ng tent.
Yes.
Chair supplier ako pero hindi ko alam kung paano gumawa ng upuan. Nag-start ako ng FMCG, wala akong alam sa FMCG. You know what? Ang style ko parate, I will just try it. And then along the way, I'm going to learn it. There's another thing that I'm doing. Okay, nandun yung drive ko, nandun yung passion ko, nandun yung leadership ko. What I'm going to do, I will find someone who's an expert on it. For example, hindi ako marunong gumawa ng tent, I'll find someone who knows one. Siya ngayon ang gagawa ng tent ko and then I'll start selling it. Hindi ako marunong magluto, I'll find someone who knows how to cook. Siya magluluto and then I'll start selling the product.
I like
Parang
that.
nangyayari nito, hindi ko kinakailangan lahat ng bagay alam ko. Ang dapat magaling ako mag-manage ng tao. This is not my job to produce the products, not my job to sell the products, not my job to operate it. My job is to make sure my employees are doing their job. And I need to make sure that they are happy, that they are productive, and they are skilled. So meaning, ang trabaho ko rito, kailangan magaling sila. Kailangan alam nila kung anong ginagawa nila. 3 important skills na dapat meron ng empleyado ko. Number 1 is the technical skill. Kung sa accounting ka, dapat magaling ka sa accounting. Kung sa sales ka, dapat magaling ka sa sales. Kung sa operation ka, dapat magaling ka sa operation. Number 2, I need to teach them about human skill. They need to learn how to interact with different people. They need to understand yung mga tao. Kasi alam mo, ang problema sa managing ng tao, nag-aaway-away sila. Kasi iba-iba ugali niyan eh. Dapat magaling ako kung paano ko i-manage yung conflict, kung paano ko i-manage yung magagaling kong empleyado. The third one is conceptual skill, meaning gaano ka kagaling mag-solve ng problem. So, my job is to make sure that all of my employees ay merong 3 skills na yun.
I love it. I love it. And having said that, you are a man who sees many opportunities. Are there other business opportunities that you are seeing out there that not necessarily I'm going, but you don't only have the capacity to handle anymore, but you want to share some good ideas with budding entrepreneurs that you're seeing from your perspective?
Yeah. Alam mo, ang isa talaga nakita ko parating napakalaking opportunity. May ganitong ugali ang Pinoy. Kapag kunyari malakas yung fishbowlan, ang gagawin ng Pinoy,
Papasok rin
gagawa siya ng panibagong fishbowlan. Gagayahin niya lang. Sa mindset ko kasi, I don't see it that way. Pag may isa akong kumpanya na nakitang malakas, ang gagawin ko, tatanungin ko, ano bang kailangan mo? Ano bang supplies ang kailangan mo? I don't need to copy you. Ang gagawin ko, aalamin ko kung anong kailangan mo. So ngayon, ako yung magsusupply doon sa isang malakas na negosyante na yon. So habang lumalaki siya, lumalaki din ako. So hindi ko kinakailangan gayahin siya. Ang kailangan ko lang malaman, ano ba yung kailangan nila. If you will notice, for example, sa food shop, ako ang supplier ng mga restaurant, ng mga hotel, ng mga caterers. I'm into food service. I'm offering the products of NutriAsia, Mondnisin, and Oleo Fats. So ibig sabihin nito, kailangan ko lang malaman yung mga restaurants, itong mga food service companies, ano ba kailangan nyo? Lahat ng kailangan nyo yun, ako magsimulang mag-supply. So parang ganun din ang ginagawa namin doon sa iba pa naming kumpanya. Na parang, ano pa bang kailangan ninyo? Caterer ka? Kailangan mo ng chairs? Sige, ako magsusupply ng chairs sa'yo. Kailangan mo ba ng mga plato, baso? Nagpaparenta ba kayo ng mga catering equipment? I will supply it. All of a sudden, this caterer can now have 2, 3, 5 events in a day na wala siyang ini-invest. Kami mismo ang magsusupply sa kanila.
I love that entrepreneurial philosophy towards discovering opportunities. It's something I learned new today. Thanks so much, Joey. That's so eye-opening for me. Now, and finally, my last question for you would be, you've learned so much as an entrepreneur. You've had your ups and downs. You've been corporate. And if you were going to pass on some key lessons, key takeaways that you want to give to future entrepreneurs, what would be that lesson?
4.
Or lessons, yes.
Number 1, excellence. In everything that you do, you always give your best. Dapat ito, non-negotiable to. Mahirap maging successful nang hindi mo binibigay yung best mo. Number 2, you need to learn yung tinatawag nating unity. Ang hirap magpatakbo ng isang negosyo na ikaw lang. You need to learn to interact with your coworkers, your leaders. So yung teamwork, yung pagtutulungan mo para ma-solve yung problema is very important. Number 3 is integrity. You need to protect your name. Alam mo, RJ, there's nothing extraordinary about my tents, my chairs, or my catering equipment. But one thing is for sure, yung credibility naming mag-asawa ay talagang intact yun. So, ang nangyayari rito, yung mga kaibigan natin sa industriya, kailangan mo ba ng tent? Ay, si Joey, mabait yun. Kailangan mo ba ng chairs? Ay, si Joey, mabait yun. Sometimes it's not about the chair. Si Joey, mabait yun. Hindi ako mapapahiya kay Joey. So, meaning, kaya kung mapapasin mo yung aking negosyo, it is interrelated, hindi naman din talaga dahil sa merong something different doon eh. Mas malaking factor doon yung naging network natin at pinagkatiwalaan ka ng mga tao na ito na sa matagal na panahon ay inalagaan mo. The last one is God-centered. That in everything that you do, you glorify your God. Again, excellence. Number 2, unity, free, integrity, and last one, God-centered.
Amen and amen. If people want to collaborate with you, Joey, how do they get in touch with your businesses?
First, my companies are, you can see it in Facebook, for Ten King, Forent, Manang A. By the way, I also have another company. This is 3A Food. We are also into distribution business. Yung hindi pwede sa food show, doon naman namin nilalagay. So, it's also in Facebook. Of course, ProTent and Right Tire. So, they can send a message dun sa aking mga social media accounts.
I wish more people could be just as entrepreneurial as you. Thanks so much for inspiring us, Joey. Thank you so much for joining us here on the RJ Ledesma podcast.
RJ, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joey.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.